During a live broadcast meant to celebrate her decades-long career, Oprah Winfrey receives an unexpected message from civil rights icon Angela Davis. The brief note, cryptic, urgent, and deeply personal, causes Oprah to stop speaking mid-sentence, triggering widespread speculation and media frenzy. What follows is a journey into Oprah's past, a hidden chapter involving political activism, suppressed truths, and a bond with Davis that was never made public. As the silence spreads across screens, the story behind it unravels through flashbacks, investigations, and personal reckonings. In a world obsessed with image and legacy, Oprah must confront the cost of choosing silence over justice. The studio lights shone bright as Oprah Winfrey settled into her familiar seat. Cameras rolled, capturing every detail of what was supposed to be a celebratory broadcast, marking her remarkable career. Smiles, applause, and warm greetings filled the air. But beneath her composed exterior, Oprah felt an unfamiliar tension stirring. As the show progressed, an assistant quietly handed her a folded note. The room seemed to pause for a heartbeat. Oprah unfolded the paper and read a few words, cryptic yet piercing, signed, simply, Angela. Her breath caught. The message pulled at memories long buried. For a moment, Oprah's eyes glazed over. The words lingered in her mind, halting, her voice mid-sentence. The silence on live television was immediate and electric. Viewers around the world caught their breath, sensing that something profound was unfolding, even if no one yet understood what. Backstage, producers exchanged worried glances as Oprah remained silent on air, longer than anyone expected. Cameras cut away, but social media exploded. The hashtag Oprah Silent trended worldwide. Oprah's mind raced. Angela's message was a summons, but to what? A secret long buried, a truth she had avoided. The years of activism before fame came flooding back like a storm. She knew this moment could change everything. But the question was she ready to face it publicly? Years before the spotlight, Oprah and Angela Davis had crossed paths during a turbulent era of protests and promises. A friendship had blossomed, built on shared struggles and unyielding courage. But as Oprah's career skyrocketed, their connection faded into the background, buried beneath fame's relentless glare. The message reignited that forgotten chapter. Could a single note undo decades of silence and reshape the narrative of two powerful women? Viewers demanded answers. News outlets scrambled for explanations. Tabloids speculated wildly. Yet, Oprah remained silent, choosing reflection over reaction. The public's fascination grew, intertwining with the cultural moment of reckoning on race, justice, and history. Oprah's silence spoke louder than words, a mirror to a society grappling with its own unresolved past. Behind the scenes, Oprah prepared to tell her story, but only when the time was right. In her private study, Oprah sifted through old photographs and letters. Images of marches, late-night talks, and fervent hopes filled the room. Angela's message echoed in her mind. We must speak, for those silenced. The past wasn't just memory, it was a call to action, a legacy waiting to be claimed and shared with the world. Oprah realized that silence was no longer an option. Not everyone welcomed Oprah's resurfacing activism. Old allies feared controversy. New opponents smelled vulnerability. Some advised caution, urging her to stay in the comfort of mainstream success. Others encouraged boldness, reminding her that true influence comes with risk. Oprah weighed the stakes. Her voice was powerful, but could it reach beyond the noise? Oprah scheduled a special interview, not with a famous journalist, but with Angela Davis herself. The meeting would be broadcast live, a historic conversation bridging past and present, a moment to confront silence with truth. As the day approached, anticipation and anxiety intertwined. Could they both face what had been left unsaid for so long? Angela arrived calm, radiant, a symbol of resistance and wisdom. Oprah greeted her with a mix of respect and affection. Their dialogue touched on struggles, victories, regrets, and hopes. The audience witnessed not just icons, but two women wrestling with their own humanity. Every word was a step toward healing, and toward reclaiming history on their own terms. The interview broke records and shattered expectations. Social media buzzed with admiration, debate, and renewed interest in civil rights history. Critics tried to twist the narrative. Supporters amplified its impact. Oprah's silence had ended, but the conversation was only beginning. In the aftermath, Oprah felt a renewed sense of mission. Her platform wasn't just for entertainment, it was a vehicle for change. She announced plans to launch a foundation dedicated to educating young activists and amplifying unheard voices. The silence that once startled the world had transformed into a powerful call to action, one Oprah was ready to lead. Oprah began reaching out to grassroots leaders and community organizers. She knew that real change came from the ground up, not just from television studios. Every conversation revealed new layers of pain, hope, and resilience. Her foundation held town halls across cities, listening to voices often ignored. Oprah wasn't there to lecture, she was there to learn. This humility deepened her commitment. The media buzzed again, now praising her dedication to activism beyond the spotlight. But for Oprah, it was personal. She felt the weight of history on her shoulders and the urgency of now. She realized that bridging generations would be her greatest challenge and her greatest gift. Not all memories were easy to revisit. Oprah found herself haunted by moments of fear and betrayal during her early activism years. Allies turned foes, hopes were crushed by systemic oppression. At night, doubts crept in. Was her voice enough? Had she been silent too long? The scars of the past felt fresh. Yet each struggle reminded her why the fight mattered. The ghosts of yesterday fueled the fire inside her. Oprah wasn't just reliving history, she was rewriting it. On a heartfelt episode of her show, Oprah opened up about her struggles, the fears, the silence, and the moments she almost gave up. Millions watched as she revealed her rawest self. Her vulnerability struck a chord worldwide. People saw not a flawless icon, but a woman wrestling with pain and hope. Letters poured in from strangers who found strength in her honesty. Oprah understood. Then that true power came from embracing imperfection. She was no longer alone in her journey. The world was walking beside her. Oprah's foundation began supporting young activists from marginalized communities. She mentored passionate leaders who reminded her of her younger self, eager, fearless, sometimes uncertain. These new voices challenged traditions and expanded conversations. They demanded more than reform. They called for revolution. Oprah encouraged them to push boundaries, knowing their courage would shape the future. Her role shifted from star to guide, nurturing the next generation's fire. Together, they formed a tapestry of hope, woven from diverse dreams. Not everyone embraced change. Political opponents and media critics launched campaigns to discredit Oprah's activism. They labeled her a threat to the status quo. She faced smear articles, social media attacks, and public skepticism. But Oprah remained steadfast. Leaning on her inner strength and the support of her community, she learned that resistance was part of progress. The louder the backlash, the clearer the message. Transformation was underway. Oprah's silence had been broken, and it echoed louder than ever. With growing visibility came intense scrutiny. Every decision, every word, was dissected and debated. Oprah felt the pressure to be perfect, a role model who never faltered. At times, she longed for the simplicity of anonymity, for moments free of judgment. But she knew the stakes were higher now. She reminded herself that humanity was her greatest strength, not perfection. Embracing flaws allowed her to connect more deeply with others. Her journey wasn't about being flawless, it was about being real. Angela Davis and Oprah deepened their bond, finding solace and strength in each other's stories. Their friendship became a lifeline amid the chaos. They shared late-night conversations about justice, legacy, and hope for a better world. Their collaboration inspired new initiatives to fight inequality. Together, they proved that solidarity across generations and experiences could spark real change. Their partnership was a beacon in turbulent times. Oprah's activism demanded personal sacrifices. Time with family was limited, privacy almost non-existent. Relationships strained under the spotlight's glare. She grappled with guilt, but remained committed to the cause. The stakes were too high to retreat. Her resolve inspired those around her, showing that true leadership often requires difficult choices. Oprah understood that sacrifice was a necessary part of transformation for herself and for those she sought to serve. Recognizing the power of digital media, Oprah launched an online network dedicated to social justice, education, and storytelling. The platform amplified unheard voices and connected activists globally. It became a hub for learning, organizing, and healing. Oprah embraced technology's potential to reach younger generations and inspire action beyond borders. Her mission evolved with the times, always rooted in truth and connection. As Oprah's efforts expanded, so did the movement. Communities united, protests swelled, and policy changes slowly emerged. The journey was far from over, but momentum was undeniable. Oprah's silence had sparked a roar heard worldwide. She watched with pride as new leaders stepped forward, carrying the torch with passion and purpose. The story was no longer hers alone. It belonged to a generation demanding justice and change. Oprah found herself at the center of relentless media scrutiny. Headlines questioned her motives, dissected her past, and speculated about her future. Each article seemed designed to destabilize her resolve. Yet, she refused to be defined by gossip or criticism. Instead, Oprah used interviews and speeches to clarify her intentions and reinforce her commitment to justice. Her message grew clearer. This was about much more than Met was a fight for humanity. The media storms raged, but Oprah stood unwavering, grounded in purpose. While Oprah's public life surged, private challenges emerged. Some family members struggled to understand her new path, fearing it would bring unwanted attention and strain. Tensions simmered during quiet dinners and holiday gatherings. Differences of opinion created distance where once there was closeness. Oprah longed for unity but recognized the cost of leadership sometimes meant walking alone. Her family's love remained, but her journey required strength beyond comfort zones. Oprah returned to her roots, storytelling as a tool for change. She produced documentaries highlighting voices from marginalized communities, weaving personal narratives with social issues. Each film invited viewers to see the world through others' eyes, sparking empathy and action. This creative work reignited Oprah's passion and reminded her of the transformative power of honest stories. Her platform became not just a stage, but a catalyst for understanding and healing. In the fight for justice, Oprah found support in unlikely places: corporate leaders, politicians, and even former critics. These alliances, fragile yet promising, opened doors to new opportunities and resources. Oprah approached each partnership cautiously, aware of the risks but hopeful for progress. Together, they began bridging divides that once seemed insurmountable. Oprah often reflected on the heavy legacy she carried, both personal and collective. She visited historical sites and met elders who had witnessed decades of struggle firsthand. Their stories deepened her understanding and renewed her resolve. Oprah knew that honoring the past was essential to shaping a just future. Despite her strength, Oprah faced moments of profound doubt. Late nights were haunted by questions. Was she making a difference? Were sacrifices worth the cost? Yet, support from friends, Angela's counsel, and messages from followers rekindled her hope. These trials reminded Oprah that perseverance was part of leadership. In the midst of challenges, Oprah sought moments of joy, quiet walks, laughter with friends, and time with her dogs. She learned that self-care wasn't selfish but necessary for sustaining her mission. These simple pleasures grounded her, reminding her of life's beauty beyond struggle. Oprah embraced balance as a source of strength. Young activists emerged as beacons of hope. Fueled by Oprah's example and their own passion, she watched them organize, speak out, and lead with fierce determination. Their courage energized Oprah, affirming that change was possible. Together, they formed a powerful force for justice. Speaking truth to power came with consequences. Oprah received threats and faced backlash that tested her resilience. But silence was no longer an option. She chose to stand firm, knowing that honesty was essential for progress. Her courage inspired others to do the same. As the movement matured, Oprah focused on sustainability. She worked to build institutions and educate future leaders. Her vision extended beyond her lifetime toward lasting change. With Angela by her side, Oprah felt ready for whatever lay ahead. Oprah stood at a crossroads. The demands of activism clashed with the comfort of her public image. Retreating meant betraying her own values, but pushing forward risked everything she'd built. That night, in solitude, she found clarity. Justice called louder than fame. Her commitment deepened, no matter the cost. This was a turning point, where courage outweighed fear. Oprah's silence had ended. Now her voice would shape a movement. Memories of past betrayals haunted Oprah. Friends who turned away during controversy, lost chances, and private doubts filled her mind. Yet these wounds told stories of resilience. Each scar was a lesson learned, a badge of survival. They reminded her of the strength required to keep fighting. Pain had forged her will. Oprah embraced the past to fuel her future, ready to face new battles with renewed vigor. Oprah sought out communities often ignored by mainstream narratives. She listened carefully to stories of pain, hope, and injustice. These voices, silenced for too long, reshaped her vision. True leadership, she realized, meant lifting others up, not speaking. For them, each encounter deepened her resolve. Oprah's mission expanded to be a platform for those unheard, to fight systemic oppression with empathy and action. Young activists brought fierce energy and urgent demands. Their impatience with slow progress challenged Oprah's seasoned wisdom. She saw herself in their fire, but knew patience was vital. Balancing hope with realism became her focus. The future belonged to these passionate leaders. Oprah committed to nurturing their voices, guiding without dimming their light. Together, they would forge a path toward lasting change. Oprah organized forums to unite opposing voices in conversation. The goal was understanding, not agreement. In a polarized world, these dialogues were rare and precious. They uncovered shared humanity beneath conflict. Small seeds of empathy were planted, offering hope for healing. Oprah believed that listening was revolutionary. These moments of connection became the foundation for social transformation. The cost of leadership weighed heavily on Oprah. Long days bled into sleepless nights. Privacy vanished. Yet victory's policy shifts, community wins offered purpose. Her journey was both deeply personal and broadly political. Sacrifice was the price of progress. Oprah accepted this truth, drawing strength from each breakthrough. Her story became one of endurance, inspiring others to persevere. Oprah let go of perfection's illusion. Her vulnerabilities and mistakes were no longer hidden but embraced. This honesty created trust and connection with her audience. Authenticity replaced the pressure to be flawless. Oprah's leadership evolved into something more human and relatable. By sharing her struggles, she empowered others to do the same. Imperfection became a source of strength and hope. Reflecting on her life's work, Oprah considered the legacy she wanted to leave. Beyond fame and accolades, it was about impact, breaking barriers, and touching lives. With Angela's influence, she envisioned a future where justice was not just sought but realized. This legacy was a living, breathing movement, sustained by many. Oprah's hope was that her efforts would empower generations to come. Solidarity proved the movement's backbone. Oprah witnessed how collective action born of shared struggle could challenge entrenched systems. Every victory, big or small, was a triumph of unity. Diverse communities came together, overcoming differences to pursue justice. Oprah celebrated this power of togetherness. It was a reminder that change was possible when people stood side by side, bound by hope and determination. As dawn broke on a new era, Oprah felt renewed purpose. The silence that shocked the world transformed into a commanding voice for change. Her journey was far from finished but firmly rooted in hope. This new chapter was a foundation for progress and healing. Oprah embraced the challenges ahead with courage, ready to inspire and lead. The movement's flame burned brighter than ever, lighting the way forward. The path ahead was full of unexpected obstacles. Political opposition intensified, aiming to dismantle the movement's gains. Oprah faced harsh criticism and even threats, yet she refused to retreat, drawing strength from her purpose. Each challenge was met with renewed determination, a reminder that progress was never easy but always necessary. The fight for justice demanded resilience beyond measure. Oprah returned to the neighborhoods where her journey began. She listened to families struggling with poverty, violence, and systemic neglect. Their stories fueled her commitment to change policies that truly mattered. Being present reminded her that activism must remain grounded in real lives and real pain. The heart of the movement was the people themselves. Recognizing the importance of legacy, Oprah focused on mentoring young leaders. She shared wisdom learned from decades of struggle. These emerging voices brought fresh ideas and unyielding passion. Oprah knew that empowering them was essential for sustainable change. Together, they planned strategies that balanced idealism with practical action. The nation remained divided, and Oprah sought ways to foster understanding. She organized dialogues across political, racial, and social lines. These conversations were difficult but necessary. Finding common ground wasn't about erasing differences but respecting them while working toward shared goals. Oprah believed empathy was the foundation for lasting peace. With greater visibility came personal costs. Oprah's privacy was invaded. Misinformation spread online. Friends and family worried about her safety, yet she accepted these sacrifices, knowing that leadership came with burdens. Her unwavering commitment inspired others to speak out despite fear. Oprah's courage became a beacon in dark times. Amid the struggles, Oprah celebrated small victories, policies passed, communities healed, voices amplified. These successes reminded everyone that change was possible. Oprah emphasized that every step forward counted, no matter how small. Hope was a powerful motivator, sustaining the movement through hardships. Oprah revisited her childhood home, reflecting on how far she had come. The memories were bittersweet, filled with hardship but also strength. This journey grounded her, reminding her of the importance of family and identity. Her roots nourished her spirit and inspired her leadership. Unexpectedly, Oprah forged an alliance with a former political rival. Though their views often clashed, they found shared purpose in advancing justice. This partnership shocked many, but demonstrated that progress sometimes requires unconventional collaboration. Oprah embraced this complexity as part of the struggle. Recognizing the role of culture in social change, Oprah supported artists who told stories of struggle and hope. Music, poetry, and visual art became tools for activism. Through creativity, communities found healing and strength. Oprah believed art was a universal language that could unite and inspire. Looking ahead, Oprah envisioned a future shaped by justice, equity, and compassion. The movement she helped nurture was growing stronger and more inclusive. She felt hopeful that the sacrifices made would bear fruit for generations to come. Oprah's journey was a testament to the power of voice and vision in transforming society. As the movement gained momentum, new opponents emerged. These adversaries used media manipulation and legal tactics to slow progress. Oprah encountered increasing hostility from powerful interests threatened by change. Yet, each attack only strengthened her resolve. She remained focused on the movement's goals, knowing adversity was part of the fight for justice. Oprah's openness about her struggles inspired many. By sharing her fears and doubts, she broke the stigma around vulnerability. This authenticity built deeper connections with supporters. Oprah showed that true strength lies in acknowledging one's humanity. Her leadership became a model of courage, rooted in honesty and empathy. The movement's power was increasingly felt at the grassroots level. Local communities organized protests, voter drives, and education campaigns. Oprah celebrated these efforts, recognizing that lasting change begins from the ground up. The people's collective voice was becoming impossible to ignore. She continued to amplify their stories on national platforms. Decades of systemic inequality had fractured communities. Oprah worked tirelessly to foster healing and reconciliation. Through community dialogues and restorative justice initiatives, wounds began to close. This process was slow and painful but necessary. Oprah believed that true justice included repairing broken relationships. New allies from unexpected sectors joined the cause. Faith leaders, educators, and even business figures. Oprah welcomed this diversity, seeing it as a sign of the movement's growing reach. She emphasized unity without uniformity, encouraging each partner to contribute their unique perspective. Together, they built a coalition for change. The demands of activism took a toll on Oprah's health and personal life. Exhaustion and stress were constant companions. She struggled to balance her public role with private needs. Despite these challenges, Oprah remained committed, drawing strength from the movement's progress and her inner resilience. Oprah highlighted the work of unsung heroes, local organizers, teachers, and volunteers. Their dedication fueled the movement's success. By sharing their stories, Oprah reminded the public that change is a collective effort. These leaders became symbols of hope and determination. The movement confronted entrenched systems resistant to change. Oprah engaged policymakers and activists to challenge laws and practices that perpetuated injustice. These battles were complex and ongoing. Oprah's persistence helped keep the pressure on, inspiring others to stay vigilant. Amid ongoing struggles, Oprah took time to reflect on how far the movement had come. Significant reforms had been achieved, and public awareness had grown. Yet, the journey was far from over. Oprah's reflection was both a celebration and a call to action, urging renewed commitment from all involved. Looking to the horizon, Oprah felt hope and determination. The movement had laid a foundation for lasting change, New generations were ready to carry the torch. Oprah's vision was clear: a society where justice and equality were realities, not ideals. Her story was a reminder that change is possible when courage meets persistence.